Turmoil in the Middle East complicating energy transition efforts. Cutting emissions is one challenge. Doing it while keeping energy secure, affordable and politically acceptable is quite another. CNA's Roland explains.
Now, here's a timeline after the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, as economies reopened, energy demand came back roaring, often outpacing supply. The result was higher prices, tighter markets, and an early reminder that even before the war returned to Europe, the energy system was under strain. Then came Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, that changed the conversation almost overnight. Energy security, once seen by some as an old-fashioned concern, was suddenly back at the center of politics. Now, Europe scrambled to replace Russian gas. Governments raced to secure liquefied natural gas, to shield households from soaring bills, and to keep industry running. And that's where the contradictions became harder to ignore. Now, in some countries, coal stayed online longer than expected or returned to the mix as a temporary backstop. At the same time, renewables kept expanding. It accounted for the biggest contribution to global energy supply in 2024. And here we are today. The Middle East crisis, the immediate priority became energy security.
During COVID, we had a demand shock. The world shut down, and this impacted oil demand. Now it's the opposite. We have a supply shock because of the war, and I think again this is going to drive the message home, and I hope it does. And I hope politicians don't have a short memory about it, and actually do something to safeguard one, the passage of energy flows, two, investing more in upstream, creating contingency plans.
The world still runs overwhelmingly on fossil fuels. Now, one 2024 estimate puts fossil fuels at about 86% of the global energy mix, while renewables account for around 8%. But electricity generation within the renewables slice is much further ahead. Now, renewables today generate about a third of global electricity power. And that doesn't mean that the clean energy transition has stalled. In fact, many of the same shocks that lifted fossil fuel prices have also strengthened the case for renewables, electrification and storage. The International Energy Agency expects renewables to meet more than 90% of global electricity demand growth between 2025 and 2030. So while crises have slowed or distorted the transition in places, they've also made one thing clearer. Now, countries that can generate more of their own energy may be better protected from global shocks.
And it will only strengthen our resolve to decouple from fossil fuels, just to diversify. We're not suggesting that we should completely decouple, but diversifying so we can avoid these types of crises, that's the best way forward. And the best way to do that is to use clean fuels, which are already cheaper to produce than fossil fuels. So it's an easy decision to make.
If there's one lesson from the past 5 years, it's this. The energy transition is not moving in a straight line. Now, every time the system is hit by a crisis, governments are forced back to the same balancing act: security, affordability, and sustainability. Except that today, security and affordability are at the forefront. For CNA Explains, I'm Roland.